miraculous recoveries over the last 24 hours. So it is that in goal, Erik Thorstvedt, who's shaken off a back injury, 2 Mitchell Thomas, 3 Pat van den Hauw, 4 Steve Sedgley, 5 David Howes, who's recovered from a knee injury, 6 Gary Mabbott, given no chance at all yesterday because of a knee trouble, but he's playing. 7 is Paul Stewart, 8 Paul Gascoigne, who's shaken off a stomach bug, 9 Nayim, 10 Gary Lineker, and 11 Paul Allen. Usual Spurs formation. Mabbott's influence at the back vital in these troubled times for Tottenham. A day when Gascoigne needs to sparkle again in the midfield, and Lineker and Stewart up front to get the goals that put Spurs back on the road once more. Manchester United in goal, Les Sealey, 2 Dennis Irwin, 3 Clayton Blackmore, 4 Steve Bruce, 5 Mike Phelan, 6 Gary Pallister, 7 no Brian Robson in the side, Neil Webb in the number 7 shirt, 8 is Paul Ince, 9 Brian McClair, 10 Mark Hughes, and 11 Lee Sharp. There had been talk that Danny Wallace would be coming back for United. He's not quite ready yet. No Brian Robson either. He's picked up a knock as well. McClair and Hughes up front with Phelan, Webb, Ince and Sharp deployed through United's midfield. The subs today for Spurs, Paul Moran and Gudni Bergson. And for Manchester United, Lee Martin and Mark Robbins. Referee today is Vic Callow from the West Midlands. Paul Gascoigne's had some real problems over the last 2 or 3 days with a really unpleasant stomach bug. He had to call the team doctor out to the training ground yesterday after he was sick during training again, but he's in great bubbly form at the moment. And so too is his partner. There's a good picture actually. Buddies, of course, as they were in Barcelona together, Gary Lineker and Mark Hughes. Spurs starting the day in 5th, United in 6th. Some say, of course, they've blown their championship chance, and that might be right. But the season is only half over yet. Certainly both sides need a good winning start to 1991. Manchester United then get us away, attacking the goal to our left in red shirts, white shorts. And an early touch for Les Sealey in the Manchester United goal. Up goes Sedgley, there's Howes, Van den Hauw. This is Irwin for Manchester United, a little cross coming in there towards Mark Hughes. Sedgley lost that just for a moment, and the corner goes for Manchester United. Just see this corner taken. Irwin, Van den Hauw stooping low to get it away only as far as Neil Webb. Webb again with the early cross, cannoned off Nayim. Ian St John.
Well, it's a disappointing corner kick there, because on Saturday I watched the game against Aston Villa with Manchester United, and they were so dangerous at corner kicks, and Gary Pallister must have got his head to about a dozen of them, so I think that's something we can look forward to tonight.
Free kick. Pretty atrocious conditions here over the last hour. The rain and the sleet has been sweeping in from London town under the floodlights there, and quite a stiff wind behind Tottenham Hotspur. Pallister with the free kick for Manchester United. And that really got caught on the wind, and Van den Hauw had to readjust to get the header in there for Tottenham. Good turn there again by Webb. Up towards Hughes again, that was caught on the breeze. Gascoigne. Allen. Mitchell Thomas. Having a really good run, Manchester United. 1 defeat only in the last 15 games. That was at home to Chelsea, live on ITV. I suppose that probably goes down as the best and most consistent run under manager Alec Ferguson at Old Trafford. Sharp getting it back to Bruce. Spurs, for their part, with just 1 win in the last 5, they've really fallen apart over the last 2 or 3 weeks. They've lost 3 of those last 5 games. Hughes, Van den Hauw. The wind is going to make it very tricky indeed for everybody, Ian.
Atrocious conditions, really. I mean, the wind is howling in there, sleet and rain. It's a real terrible night for the players.
Stewart winning it in the air. Irwin getting it away. There's Mabbutt with that left knee very heavily strapped up towards Lineker. Ince for United. Growing in stature with almost every game he plays, Paul Ince, but curiously has yet to score in the league for them. His only goals coming the November before last in what was then the Littlewoods Cup tie against Portsmouth. Though I gather he almost shattered the woodwork on Saturday against Villa. Just clipped off the head of Steve Bruce. But Gary Mabbutt is so important to Tottenham, and it says a lot for his spirit that, I mean, he told me yesterday I haven't got a chance of playing, but there he is. And he hasn't missed a game so far this season. Here's Stewart now. Lineker waiting in the middle. This could be interesting. Lineker! Stewart served him well there, and Lineker applauds that fact.
Not often you see that happening, Brian, is it? It was a lovely little ball there by Stewart. And there's Gary Lineker on the penalty spot, and he just stumbled and knocked it past the post.
He was saying on Sunday, Ian, when we were working on the Crystal Palace game and he was the co-commentator, he's having a bad time at the moment. In fact, he's only failed to score in the last 3, and he's notched 11 already this season, but that was very un-Lineker-like.
It certainly was.
And it was such good work by Stewart, who's in a good, rich vein of form at the moment.
Well, Stewart's a grafter. He's a hard-working boy. He himself doesn't get many goals, but he works hard for the team.
Mabbutt will turn this back to Torstvedt. Paul Allen. Phelan cut that out. Blackmore. Webb. Hustled very quickly and unfairly there by Hughes. Acknowledged the fact that it was quite clearly a free kick and taken not from the right place, so United will have to come back. Hughes. 9 goals this season, and indeed 6 in the last 9. He's in good form at the moment. Here's Pallister. Scored at the wrong end on Saturday against Villa. Irwin. Busy little right back. Webb. And the touch by McClair. Too firm for Irwin.
I know there's a mixed feeling as picking up Paul Gascoigne tonight. It would appear that Alex Ferguson has decided to do that. And I always think it's a good ploy playing against Spurs that you must clamp a man in Gascoigne.
Well, it worked so well when Liverpool came here with David Burrows saying, didn't it?
Yes, it did. And other teams this season as well, I've noticed. Gascoigne hasn't been prominent when somebody's marked, and this feeling at his heels now. Yes.
Exactly making the point. But Gascoigne trying to slip away from him this time, and then runs straight into Clayton Blackmore. Tottenham's free kick. Gascoigne to Allen. Marginal mistake there by Steve Bruce. Back to Gascoigne again. And here's Sharp. Very strong down that left-hand side. And a good left foot on him. Hughes, I don't think Webb will get to that one. Van den Hausen in quickly. Van den Hausen, who starts a suspension after this game, sent off in the game against Luton, as indeed was Nayim. Which means they missed the cup tie on Saturday at Blackpool, which could become a tricky one for Tottenham. Bruce. Here's Nayim. Van den Hausen. Gascoigne. Pumping it forward towards Hughes, who's a great battler as well, with his back to the goal again. Phelan trying to sneak it through, and it was Sharp who'd made such a good break for United down into those central areas. It's Thomas. Oh, he's given it away badly. Hughes spotted it and almost. Well, if Hughes had hit that just a little firmer, and it was a terrible mistake there by Mitchell Thomas. A real giveaway. Torsvet was away out of his goal.
I don't think Hughes really caught it, as you said there, Brian. You know, sort of half hit it, and Torsvet had to scramble back a bit to get it, but that was nearly a bad mistake.
It's a free kick to Manchester United. Can't-stopping moment there for the big fullback, formerly with Luton Town. Pallister. And that's a better touch from Mitchell Thomas.
I think he concentrated in that one, didn't he?
He did. Steve Sedgley. Bruce. Good turn there by Sharp. He just joined us with a little under 9 minutes. Spurs 0, Manchester United 0 here at White Hart Lane. Hughes to Ince. Cut out by Gascoigne. Now Spurs could be away. Lineker. Good challenging by Ince. Paul Allen now for Tottenham. And Lineker struggling a bit after that challenge from Ince. Bruce gets to Pallister. And now Webb. Kept in well by Hughes. Blackmore. Well, he hits a good ball from that sort of range. We've seen that once or twice this season. And the ball moving sweetly on a very good surface with that little bit of rain on it in the last hour. Here's Hughes into the path of Clayton Blackmore. Looking to add to his 5 goals this season, but not with that one.
They're looking the likelier team at the moment, United, aren't they? I think the passing is a little bit crisper than Tottenham, who look a bit out of sorts.
And when you look at their records, they've just got that little gloss of confidence about them, haven't they, United, at the moment?
Well, that's right. I mean, 1 in 15 is a terrific record, really, isn't it? You know, it's consistency they haven't had in the last few years.
Erik Thorstvedt. Eric the Viking, they call him. And some fans of his in the crowd there. Stewart. Looks as though he might cause 1 or 2 problems for United this afternoon. Lineker's little touch. There was a free kick given against Manchester United. Gascoigne always looking for something extravagant, might well try something here. Les Sealy will be well aware of the danger. And of course there is quite a gusty wind behind Tottenham at the moment. 4 in the United wall. And Gascoigne taking a fast bowler's run up for this one. And hits it straight at Sealy. I got him in the match sweepstake to score the first goal, but not with that sort of effort. I think you've got the second Tottenham substitute, haven't you, Whitney Bergson? So I think my chances might be a little higher than yours.
I think with that free kick, that Gascoigne was a little bit ambitious because he was trying to side foot and bend it. You know, from that distance, he had to get power in it.
Hughes finding McClair. Owen's made a good break. That's a long shot from Brian McClair. And curiously, as we found so often with Liverpool on a Sunday, so many long-range shots were being lifted over the crossbar, Saint.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they can complain here about the surface because the pitch is in excellent condition.
Good jump by Howells. What a good header. And here's Stewart. Lineker's waiting in the middle for him. And did he cross the line?
Well, I have to say, I
thought it did.
I thought it was in.
But it was touch and go, and the linesman was standing right by the corner flag, and the referee has pointed to the corner. Stewart making the break, and it just clipped off the goalkeeper, and they say it didn't cross the line. Paul Allen now trying to rattle one in there.
He's given a penalty.
And he's given a penalty. Well, it must have been a foul on Allen.
I think it was for a handball. He's given it. He's indicating it was a handball. And I mean, the player only fell on top of the ball. It was a scramble.
Well, Spurs may have felt that they should have scored a moment before. Let's look at this. It's certainly hard to see there. And yes, the United player on the ground, presumably, Neil Webb. At any rate, it's Lineker. 11 goals this season, but only 1 from the penalty spot, and he missed against Chelsea from the spot, remember, a few weeks back. Lineker. 1-0 to Tottenham. It looked a harsh penalty decision, but Lineker certainly made the most of the opportunity. Ice cool nerve. 1-0.
Yeah, I thought it was a very harsh decision there, Brian. I can't really see why the referee thought that the player was, intentionally handling a ball there.
It's not over yet, because Webb, who I think was the man who handled it on the floor there, has obviously been complaining, and Vic Callow, the referee, 12th goal of the season, 11th in the league, but Webb really made his feelings known there to referee Vic Callow. But the upshot of it is that Spurs are a goal ahead. So what a bit of controversy there. Did the Stewart shot cross the line? The referee said no. Was it a penalty? The referee said yes. Spurs a goal up. Bruce has gone out for this one. Stewart getting right back there. Gascoigne with a header back. Let's have another look at that Stewart shot, which may or may not have crossed the line. From another angle, it just nicks off Les Sealy. Alistair gets it. Well, it didn't look as though he did cross the line there, actually, saying.
Yeah, I think probably the referee was correct there. From up here, I did think actually it had gone over.
Bruce with a header. And in a moment, we'll have another look at that United handball that provided Spurs with a penalty. Nayim on the far side. Vanden Hauwe. Nayim. Challenged unfairly by Irwin, a free kick to Tottenham. Gascoigne with it. Splendid taker of free kicks. Stewart wanting it on his head, but it was too high for him. But Lineker's behind him. Lineker's shot just wide. Good frisky start this from Tottenham now. With the free kick that was too high for Stewart.
I thought Gary Pallister actually got underneath the ball. Defensively, I would say that was a mistake by him.
Gascoigne first for this one. Won it well in the air above Paul Ince. Oh, a nice back heel by Stewart. Now Spurs playing some stuff. Allen to Lineker. Stewart in the middle. Howes has come up quickly, and it's Bruce who gets it away to Clayton Blackmore. Not very convincingly, because here's Lineker again. Now Allen. Ince with a chance now possibly to get it away. No, he took too long. This with Mitchell Thomas. Allen again. A dummy by Howes. Thanks, says Hughes. Oh, terrific action here at the moment. Hughes now spreading it wide. Some space for Owen to work. Webb. United throw. Ince for United. And back to Torstvedt. Phelan. From Sharp. Got the pace of Mitchell Thomas here. Thomas is after him, then brings him down. No foul there. And Mabbutt ties it up and gets it forward towards Lineker. A bit fast and furious here at the moment. When we do get a moment, we must have another look at that penalty incident.
I mean, the pace of the game has picked up a bit, certainly in the last 10 minutes. Here's the incident again.
Paul Allen.
And it was Phelan.
No,
I mean, he fell down there. He just fell down and the ball happened to be there. I would think all the United fans watching out would think that was a bad decision by Mr. Carlo.
Stewart, chased by Pallister. Maybe Terry Venables feels that the break's gone his way again. I mean, it's unthinkable that anybody would want to sit on a ball or handle a ball like that in the penalty area. I mean, you know what the consequences are.
Right. It's a total accident, we know that.
So Alec Ferguson with something to think about, with his chairman alongside him, and Bobby Charlton in the second row. Certainly the way Spurs have been playing defensively of late, United have still got plenty of encouragement. Spurs have conceded 11 in their last 5 games, more than 2 a game. But they do have a very good recent record against Mark Hughes and Manchester United. Spurs won by a 0-0 at Old Trafford last season, 2-1 here in the league, and they won 3-0 at Old Trafford in the Littlewoods Cup. And Gary Lineker scored in all 3 of those games. And blow me, he's done it again today. Here's Owen. To Webb. I gather there are a few of you ringing our switchboard complaining about the high angle of the gantry here at Tottenham. Sorry, of course, but there's nothing we can do about it. We've almost got oxygen masks on ourselves. They're there if we want them. It's a very high one, so.
Well, you've got a nosebleed, Brian.
But we're looking for a way around it for future games here. Hughes getting in. No, offside. Great strike by Hughes. He's venomous with those volleys.
But again, the Pallister header, and this is where I think United will score goals tonight. If you can find Pallister in the end. He was offside, Hughes, just shaded offside, but what a lovely finish. Excellent.
No doubt that it was the right decision, and it remains Spurs 1, Manchester United 0. Sorry, sir.
No, I'm just saying that I think United do look, very, very dangerous when they get in that box. I think Mark Hughes is man on form at the moment. He's scoring goals. He's looking strong, sharp. And it wouldn't surprise me if he gets on the sheet tonight.
Mabbutt won it in the air. There was a foul on him by Mark Hughes.
mean, that's a mystery. It's a mystery for Mark Hughes that he thought Mabbutt had jumped on his back, and in fact the referee had given it the other way.
A touch of sportsmanship there from Gary Mabbutt. Stewart looking really sharp this afternoon. Here's Paul Allen. Played in quickly by Thomas. Stewart again. The little back heel. Lineker was almost in again. Courtesy of Paul Stewart. Van den Hauwe getting in quickly to hook the progress of Mark Hughes. As Sedgley plays it forward again, the flag stays down, the ball skims off the surface, and it's a goal kick for Manchester United.
I would say this is as well as I've seen Paul Stewart play, Brian. He's having an excellent game tonight. He's all over the place. He's the target for any ball played up, and this was a lovely little touch there. Lovely. Pallister just managed to get the tackle in, but he's looking terrific in very good form tonight.
Well, of course, he is a former Manchester City player looking to do Manchester United. That will please him no end.
Oh, yes.
And, of course, he's a former Blackpool player where Spurs go in the Cup on Saturday.
So Blackpool won again today.
They scored 5, didn't they, on Saturday? So Spurs can have quite a handful up there at Bloomfield Road. But it's Clayton Blackmore with the throw then for Manchester United. Here's Steve Bruce. Nayim. Lineker has made a good break on the far side to make himself available. Nayim. Little back heel for Lineker. In towards Stewart. And that wasn't far from a McClair embarrassment. Hustled there by Paul Allen. It was Allen who got the last touch.
In fact, I think the referee gave a foul there for Allen coming in and barging.
Stewart again. Allen. Howes. Webb might get there first. Helped by Bruce. Blackmore. Mabbutt. It's a throw for Manchester United. Clayton Blackmore with it. Ince. Phelan. Some good play there by Mitchell Thomas. In the end, gives it away to Blackmore. And then loses it to Hughes. And Mitchell Thomas might get another go. And this time he successfully finds Paul Allen. Thomas again away to Stewart. Gascoigne. Stewart. Walking it a long way back to Mabbutt, who looked as though that was a handball by Mabbutt. And the referee was a little surprised by it in the first place. I don't think what Mabbutt was trying to do there.
He was trying to get out the way of the ball, Brian, actually. I mean, it was a total accident as well here when the ball was played by Stewart back. You see, he just turned to get away, to try and turn away from the ball, and it struck his arm.
Well, it provides Manchester United with something here. Webb and Ince behind it.
Blackmore wide as well if they play it square to him, and he can bang them, as we know.
It's a good ball. And here is Clayton Blackmore, driven straight at Paul Allen. Owen, hitting it forward again. Phelan had stayed up there. Who's ducking in with a header? Pallister, playing it short. Picked up well by Ince. Played wide now for Webb. Crossed in again towards the near post. And Hughes was almost there. And United so unlucky. A brilliant move, and what a ball played in. Blackmore playing it in again. Hughes on the turn. Straight at goalkeeper Torstvedt.
Incredible play, really. A beautiful ball played in here, wasn't it, by Webb? Bent it in there. There was Hughes to the near post. The goalkeeper tipped it onto the underside of the bar.
An excellent save by Torstvedt, actually. Phelan. And the challenge by Thomas has left Lee Sharp injured on the ground. Free kick to Manchester United. This moment again. Hughes' touch and an excellent save by Erik Torstvedt. No problems with his back injury there.
Paul Ince again having a word with the referee, and in fact the referee having a word with him because of what he's been saying. He has a problem, hasn't he, young Paul, where he likes to try and run the game.
Well, here's Gascoigne. Oh, might come for Allen. Missed in by him, but straight to Seeley. If Stewart could have been there half a yard ahead, that would have been a simple little nod in for him. Phelan. Owen. Webb. Stewart. Short for Allen. Stewart to Gascoigne. Some real stuff being played here today, and the foul by Bruce on Gascoigne. Two Geordies shake hands, and a free kick given to Tottenham.
Would you have classed that as a professional foul, as they say in the game now, Brian?
I'm almost getting as confused as I think sometimes the referees are by it. So I think it needs a firm hand on the tiller on that score at the moment, don't you?
Yeah.
What we know is that it's Gascoigne with a free kick. Unless Nayim might try something. No, it'll be Gascoigne. Picked off the wall. And a goal, and a corner.
He's been very quiet, Paul, hasn't he? He's not really done an awful lot tonight.
This stomach bug, which laid him low at Southampton, has really troubled him. I was talking to him yesterday, and he'd been up most of the previous night as well. And as I say, he was ill during training yesterday. Stewart with a header. Gascoigne playing it on the line now to Nayim on this side. Blackmore thought it was a United ball. It goes to Tottenham. Past the half-hour mark, Spurs leading by 1-0. Gary Lineker, the scorer from the penalty spot. Hughes against Mabbott. Mabbott coming back for some more. And in the end, comes back for some more at the expense of a corner.
I think Gary Mabbott was possibly feeling his knee a little bit there, Brian, in that chase with Mark Hughes, you know. Hughes certainly outpaced him.
So Howes at the post, McClair just behind him, Webb with the corner. Bruce ready to launch himself. Pallister, 6'4" of him up from the back as well. United looking for an equaliser here. They're not with that sort of corner. Webb. Stopped by Howe. There's a good ball. Paul Allen. Lineker. Look at the break Lineker's making it to the left there. Paul Allen brought down though by Pallister. and I've said it before, I don't like to see too many yellow cards brandished, and I think referees just make a rod for their own back if they brandish too many early on. But I've seen yellow cards for challenges like that this season, and the players, I think, are getting to the state where they don't quite know where they stand, Ian.
That's correct. As it happened that time, I thought Pallister was just half a yard short in the tackle. You know, if he could take another stride, he might have got it.
Gascoigne and Seeley. Bounce just awkwardly a fraction ahead of him. Yes, he's trying free kicks from a long way out with the wind behind him. He hasn't really had a real teasing free kick yet for Tottenham. But the quality of the football is excellent here tonight.
Yeah, very good game. Quality game, a lot of endeavour as well. A lot of good performances by individuals. And it's a game that's bubbling along. I mean, you always think that something will happen. A goal could come at any time at either end.
Hughes trying to backhead it, almost got it through to Sharp. A nice little stabbing pass away there by Mabbott. Allen now finds Lineker, plays it in for Hughes. Forward again for Gascoigne, but there's too much pace on that one. You can see it's a real dirty night in North London. The rain's still coming down. And they look at their watches on the bench. It's about 10 minutes to go to half-time. Thomas concedes the corner, does he? Yes. He thought that it may just have come off Lee Sharp. Alistair forward again. Bruce is on the edge of the box. Sharp also. Alistair, in fact, now taking his position right at the near post. Webb with the corner. Towards Bruce. Oh, knocked in there again, off the crossbar that time from McClair. Well, I must say United are having none of the luck tonight.
None at all. I mean, that was a wonderful free corner kick because it bypassed everybody beyond the back post. Two United players coming in. There was Bruce got the header, there was McClair, and as you say, no luck at all.
Much relieved Erik Torstvedt with the clearance for Tottenham. Nayim getting in quickly, but United keep possession. Webb spraying the long ball forward now, sensing possibly that Sharp might have the measure of Mitchell Thomas.
I think he has got the measure of him, Brian. He's very pacey, Sharp.
Blackmore playing it in. Hughes, was he pushed down? It's going to be a penalty. By Vanden Hauwe. That looked a clearer penalty than the one at the other end. And it gives United now the chance of coming back to 1-1. Steve Bruce normally takes the penalties. Celebrated his 30th birthday yesterday, Steve Bruce. New Year's Eve. He said, yeah, no celebrations for me, in bed at 10:30 with a pill and a good night's sleep, getting ready for the big occasion. Well, it's now become a big occasion for him.
On Saturday, he took the penalty, knocked it to the goalkeeper's left. But I've seen him play them at either side, so I don't think he's got one way of taking the penalty.
3 penalties in the last 2 games. Steve Bruce now with a chance of making it 1-1, and succeeds in doing so.
Yeah, he went goalkeeper's left again. But they thoroughly deserve to be on level terms, United. They've hit the woodwork twice. They've played some very good football. And I think it justifies that being 1-1. A well-taken penalty.
Yeah, 2 good penalties we've been seeing here today.
Yes. I'm not too sure in this incident, you know, who actually pulled him down. I mean, we thought it was Vanden Hauwe, because Vanden Hauwe was the closest to him at the end of it, but I don't think actually Vanden Hauwe touched him.
Well, there's the score. Spurs 1, Manchester United 1. Lineker penalty, and now Bruce penalty. Lineker getting in there, stopped by Bruce. Exactly. Maybe in a moment we can have another look at that, the foul on Mark Hughes when we've got a moment to think, because that's another controversial moment in a highly entertaining game. Hit long towards Hughes. Sedgley sticking with him, and Hughes battling away there. Matched by Steve Sedgley. In fact, there was a foul by Hughes on Sedgley. It's a free kick. Gascoigne. McClair hitting it straight to Sedgley. Howes. Nayim. Brandon Howe. Excellent ball for Allen. Trying to play it in and thread it straight through to Lineker. Thomas. It's a good cross by Thomas. And Pallister had to be at his best to get that one up and over the crossbar. Nayim with the corner. Nabbit going for that one, but finished away over the top in amongst the crowd. Let's have another look at this penalty incident, Saint. From the opposite side of the field now.
I mean, really, looking at that, very difficult to see.
Yeah, you couldn't really see whether there was a contact between Pat Van den Hauwe, but Vic Callow obviously thought there was. Outside his box. United are looking in pretty good shape again now. Blackmore. Torsfeld safe handling. Out to Gascoigne. It's real non-stop stuff though. Here's Nayim. Tottenham's throw. Stewart. Lineker. Straight to Blackmore. Here's Webb. Hughes. Little touch from McClair. Phelan's gone on a very good break indeed, but I don't think it'll reach him. And here's Torsfeld. Whoa, he could be in trouble. Owen, now if he lifted it over the keeper, Torsfeld is still a long way out. Sadly for United, Phelan was down and injured, and Torsfeld, vastly relieved, gets back. You saw a similar thing with Bruce Grobbelaar on Sunday. They're going mad, some of these goalkeepers say.
They'll fancy themselves as fullbacks, I think.
Back he goes to Torsfeld.
It was a pity Dennis Irwin, who had the ball wide on the right, had a look up, because I mean, he got himself in terrible bother here. Big Eric, he thought he had all the time in the world, and Mickey Phelan did well there.
And at the point there, if Irwin had hit one there, that might have been very interesting indeed.
That's right, and Irwin's trying to play Phelan back into the game.
Webb. Richard Thomas with the header. Brandon Howe. Feeling there might be one or two more goals here tonight.
Oh yes, I mean it's such an open game, and the attackers are playing well. You know, all the attackers look very sharp tonight. I think Mark Hughes up front for United he's playing as well as I've seen him playing, and Paul Stewart and Lineker at the other end. So I mean goals, I would say, Brian, very much a possibility.
Stewart. to have seen the advantage played. A shake of the head there from Mike Phelan. Alec Ferguson on the left of the picture in the front row. We talk about Steve Bruce celebrating his birthday yesterday on New Year's Eve. So did Alec, who was 49 yesterday. Happy birthday to both of them. A bit tough for footballers when you have a birthday on New Year's Eve, Saint.
I don't think it would have affected Alec last night.
Webb. Last minute of the first half now. Spurs 1, Manchester United 1. Webb getting it clear. Up towards Sharp. Comes on for Hughes. Turned nicely there. Brings in Blackmore. Abbott there first. They've really patched people up, Spurs, in the back room in the last couple of days or so and sent them out to play again. I suppose most clubs at this time of year are carrying knocks, though, Ian, aren't they? But
oh, yes.
You just wonder, with the number of injuries, like Abbott, for example, just how they will cope with the fast and furious pace in the second half as well.
Well, he's having a very good game, but I mean, he looks to me at times to be carrying that knee.
There's the half-time whistle. Full of good flowing football, actually. But the two goals coming from the penalty spot. Gary Lineker, number 10, putting Spurs ahead. And then Steve Bruce, number 4, scoring the equaliser for Manchester United. Half-time then here at White Hart Lane. Eric Scholar, the chairman of Tottenham. Certainly good news for Spurs fans that, as far as he's concerned, Lineker and Gascoigne will stay put. And it says a lot, I think, for Terry Venables' management, Saint, that for all the troubles there are off the pitch, he seems to have maintained a very high spirit amongst the players on the field, and their results until the last week or two have been very good indeed.
Oh, yes, I don't think actually players worry too much about boardroom wrangles or whatever. You know, they try to get on with the game. They're paid to play, and that's what they do. And then they enjoy their work, and why shouldn't they? It's the best living you can get, I'll tell you.
Bruce under that one for Manchester United. Quickly casting my eye around. No sides have made any substitutions. Here's Paul Allen. And a throw to Tottenham. Mitchell Thomas with it. Gascoigne. Lovely little touch there by Hughes. Phelan ready to receive it. And here's McClair. Far on this right-hand side at the start of this second half. Owen. Beaten away by Nayim. Here's Lineker. Gascoigne. Cut out quite comfortably by Clayton Blackmore. A nice turn and earning himself a few yards of pace there, space there was Hughes. There's the long shot from Webb. Goal kick to Tottenham Hotspur. Gascoigne not quite firing on all cylinders at the moment. As we look at the first half statistics, they've each had 8 shots on goal.
Yeah, Gascoigne looks a bit out of sorts, Brian, you have to say that.
I think the old stomach bug may just have laid him a bit low, and he was feeling the groin there just a moment ago. Pallister's header. McClair. Ince getting in with one. So too was David Howells for Tottenham. A foul there by Gascoigne. A free kick to Manchester United. Sharp, who is a real prospect. Knocked it in there. Mabbott just for a moment caught wrong-footed and then slid it behind for the corner, which Webb will take. McClair at the near post. Hughes on the edge of the 6-yard area. Pallister and Bruce ready to launch themselves again. It's Pallister's header. It's Tottenham's goal kick.
That's the corner kick that they deploy more than any other, trying to find Pallister coming in from the edge of the box here. And, you know, as I say, in Saturday's game against the Villa, you get so many headers, and it's so, well, he's a big lad, obviously, so it's definitely a very dangerous ploy, too.
As you can see from that picture there, there's still plenty of rain and sleet in the air here in North London. And the wind hard against Tottenham in this half. As you saw there, Torsvedt hardly made the centre circle with the kick. Van Hal getting that one away, up to Lineker. Back heel there for Allen. Rode his luck well as it came off Blackmore. Blackmore was back at him, but still Allen going on. Help here by Gascoigne. Great save. Ferocious shot there from Paul Gascoigne. Suddenly put in the clear. And some good work by Les Seeley.
His colleagues were saying that they thought he might have squared it there, but I thought Gaza probably did the right thing. Pinched it, went inside Bruce, and from a bit of a tight angle had a blast at it, and Seeley held his ground well.
Bruce for United. Forward to Lee Sharp. Trying to take on Mitchell Thomas again. He's giving him a really uncomfortable afternoon. Phelan coming up quickly from the back, but that time Sharp's cross was too close to the keeper. Nayim. Look around the First Division scene here today. We've seen a fair number of the goals already. The goals from the matches involving Villa, Derby, Sheffield United and Sunderland still to come at the end of the programme this afternoon. This evening, rather. Paul Stewart there, number 7. Hughes. Onto the left foot. Came off the defender for the corner. Looking in great form again, Mark Hughes.
Very sharp now, and it's nice to see because he went off the boil for a bit, Mark, and you know, fans like to see good players playing well, and he's now this season found his old form again, lethal in front of goals.
Hit towards Pallister and Bruce again, but knocked off the head of Bruce by Gary Mabbott. As you were saying, Ian, that's their favourite corner.
Yep.
Flighted towards 6'4" Pallister and the 6-footer Steve Bruce. They're positioned again on the edge of the Tottenham penalty area. Torsvedt, though, gathering it and having a certain difficulty because the ball was again caught up in the wind. Even reaching the halfway line. Stewart. Allen. Good challenge that time by Ince. Might set up McClair here. Into Webb. Sharp has made the good break again. That time Thomas got his timely challenge in. And here's Gascoigne. Oh, Mabbott didn't see Sharp behind him.
There's a lazy ball from Gascoigne, mind you. Dropped his defender right in trouble there.
Even so, unlike Gary Mabbott, not to be aware of just about everything that's going on around him. It's Tottenham's throw. Thomas to David Howes. cheer as Torsford at last clears the centre line.
Let's see how far Seeley can kick it now with the wind at his back.
Look at the stand at the other end, probably, if he really catches it. Just look at that. One bounce, straight to Torsford. That's the strength of the wind behind Manchester United in this second half. Kept in by Gary Lineker. Brandon Howe. Seeley grabbing this one. Just had word of an amazingly quick goal today, scored in 8 seconds by Tony Thomas for Tranmere against Southend in Tranmere's 3-1 win up in Tranmere. A goal in 8 seconds, eh?
Yeah.
Here's Ince. Gascoigne. Thomas. Puts it straight at Ince. Game so far in this second half hasn't really taken off in the way that it did in the first, but here's Lee Shaw. That should be easy for Tottenham to deal with. Brandon Howe. Lineker coming deep. Oh, great play by Gary Lineker. Pallister struggling to get back. Stewart's in there for him, and Bruce did well for Manchester United. Now it's picking up. Nayim. Stewart. Trying to curl that one, and Nayim. Seeley came out of his goal towards Lineker, and Pallister put it over the top. Terrific stuff there from Tottenham. Not least from Gary Lineker in the first place, and a lovely little bit of determined play by Nayim that almost set up the header for Lineker. Corner for Tottenham. Mabbott has a shot blocked on the line there. Nayim lost it for a moment, and now it's Phelan who can bring it away. But there's Brandon Howe. Back comes Spurs again. It's with Gascoigne. Oh, a lovely ball for Lineker. They're all trying to get up quickly. Paul Allen's the first one to make it. Straight into the arms of Seeley. A nice sporting gesture there from Paul Allen. He cannoned into Les Seeley.
Well, Les Seeley's been caught in the last 2 attacks, you know, having to decide whether he goes all the way or gets back in his goal there. And Gary Lineker claiming that Bruce handled the ball as he played it in.
Some beautiful stuff there from Tottenham.
Very exciting stuff.
But here's McClair for United. Running it out of play, Tottenham's ball. 11 minutes of the second half gone. The score still Spurs 1, Manchester United 1. Stewart. Foul on him by Pallister. Brandon Howe with a kick. Except that Gascoigne now looks as though he might take it. Holds off McClair. Little ball through from Lineker. Gets it back again. Lineker. Gascoigne. Stewart.
Oh. Excellent stuff.
Excellent stuff by Tottenham, but United 2, 4, 6 defenders will come back quickly. This was off the line from. I think it probably was Mabbott who made the shot eventually, wasn't it? Oh, this was the cross by Nayim. And
Gary Pallister, yeah, good job, Gary Pallister gets it off the line. But before that, there'd been a shot off the line as well from Mabbott's shot. That's how Clayton Blackmore it was who blocked that one.
Gascoigne. Thomas. Brandon Howe. Gascoigne. Nayim. Gascoigne couldn't pick that one up. Phelan. Hughes. Can Webb get in there? Came in the end off Mabbott. Mabbott. Thomas to Allen. Lineker on the far side. Gets it in again for Gascoigne.
Getting a bit of room now, Gascoigne, isn't he? He's getting more involved in the game.
Tottenham's ball. Here's Bruce. Webb. Owen. Vasily. Again by Seeley, helped by this very strong wind behind Manchester United. Blackmore. And straight to Torsvet. McClair was making up ground quickly, but now United have got to get back. It's Nayim on the ball for Tottenham. What a lovely ball there for Paul Allen. Rather for Stewart. He might come for Lineker.
I think Stewart actually was having a shot himself there, but it was almost what we say is a good baden. Almost ran in the path of Gary Lineker there.
Spurs, in fact, playing against a very strong wind, but making more of the chances in this second half, Ian.
But they play some excellent football, some lovely close passing, one-touch football. Been excellent stuff.
As an ex-player, does it make a lot of difference about playing with or against the wind?
Well, sometimes, fun enough, it's better playing against it. You know, you can play the ball underneath the wind, and it forces you to play the ball shorter. When you've got the wind at your back, a lot of people start over-hitting the ball, and we've seen that a few times today, haven't we? Including goalkeepers that kick it long and overrun it.
And here's Gascoigne for Tottenham. Bring Allen into it. Getting my Allens and Stewarts mixed up at the moment. It's a corner for Tottenham, and it's certainly going to be Nayim who takes it. Ince with the header. Gascoigne, unmistakable. Thomas. Bruce hitting the long free kick to McClair. Touch back very expertly there to Irwin. Irwin again, picked up by Van den Hal, up to Lineker. Just trying to nick that through for Gascoigne, but Ince took charge for Manchester United, finds Neil Webb. And it goes for the corner. Off Nayim. Essentially, you got the header for that one for Tottenham, only as far as Paul Ince. Hughes back to Blackmore. Irwin. It's Webb. Foul there by Lee Sharp. A free kick to Tottenham. United disguising the fact they're without Brian Wilson very well indeed at the moment.
Well, Brian Wilson played very well on Saturday, and his comeback has been great because he's played well and he stayed fit, and that's been good news for United. But it's a pity he's not playing tonight. He'd have enjoyed this one.
Here's McClair. To Webb. Offside flag. Suggests probably against Brian McClair. Tottenham's free kick.
But Neil Webb squandered the last two crosses there, Brian, and really it's very important now that with Robson not on the side, that he takes command.
And Seeley getting there just before Lineker. That was some ball from the back, though. Sitting next to Bobby Charlton with that rather fetching cap is in fact Brian Robson. Hughes. Referee turned away. United are looking hopefully for something from that situation. There to Ince. Stopped by Mabbott. Here's Gascoigne. Rounding Neil Webb. Taking on Blackmore. And Blackmore coming back to make a good, swift, clean challenge there on Paul Gascoigne. Here's Ince. The game picking up again now. Here's Hughes. Tangling with Stewart, and the big United skipper comes away with it, and Howes gets the better of Sharp. Flag up for an offside. "25 minutes of the game to go. And very nicely balanced it is at 1-1. Allen keeping it in. Finding Stewart. Oh, good play by Paul Stewart. Gascoigne away on the right. Played in quickly by him towards Lineker. Spurs claiming there was a foul on Lineker as that ball went screeching across that 6-yard area. But the referee wanting none of it. And in fact, I think Gascoigne may have protested a little too loudly. There we are again. They claim there was a foul on Lineker. Didn't look it to me. And Gascoigne for dissent. We'll get a red card. He must have said something to the referee there that required an instant red card. Paul Gascoigne sent off.
Well, that is amazing, really. Obviously, as you say, must have said something, called the referee something that he thought, well, I'm not having you on the field saying things like that. It must be.
Hadn't been booked before. It was obviously something that he must have said in his argument with referee Vic Kello. Paul Gascoigne sent off. Spurs down to 10 men.
Well, actually, this season, I've watched games where he's been a very lucky boy to have stayed on. Some of the things you can say to referees. Tonight, this referee's obviously decided, well, if you say it to me, you're off.
Alistair. Spurs having a bad time with sendings-offs. 2 in the game. Here they finished with 9 men against Luton. And Nayim was sent off then for something that he eventually said to the referee. It's Hughes! Just wide. Well, chances have been put away by Mark Hughes when they've been much more difficult than that.
Because this wasn't really a difficult one, was it? He
didn't begin to catch that properly.
That's it, slashed at it with his left foot.
Looks to me as though United are going to make the substitution, lining up Mark Robins. And we think it's Mike Phelan who's coming off. Mark Robins, 21 years old, coming on for Mick Phelan. Scored 4 times this season, Robins. Had a really good start to the season. McClair letting it run for Hughes. Blackmore playing it in. And it finally comes off Mitchell Thomas.
Well, that's actually quite a sensible substitution because Mick Phelan's job had been to mark Gascoigne, so the fact that there's no Gascoigne now, he can bring a forward on and look to try and win the game with the extra forward.
And Sedgley has gone off for Tottenham, with Paul Moran coming on. Stewart. Paul Moran, who's not even been a substitute for Tottenham this season. This is his first outing of the season.
Yes, but you remember the game where he came on as a substitute at Derby?
At Derby.
Game.
Turned the whole game, actually, didn't he? Down the right flank for Spurs.
That's what won the game for him.
Robbins chasing Mabbott, and Mabbott calling Torsvet to come out of his goal a little quicker. Told by our spies on the other side that Terry Venables has left the bench and gone into the Spurs dressing room. He's coming back, I think now I can see him, yes. Probably to find out from Gascoigne what it was, he said. As I say, he's back on the bench now. It's Nayim with the free kick for Tottenham. Hit towards Lineker. Well, an amazing night's football, really, because it's been so much good stuff, but we've had two controversial penalties. The sending off of Paul Gascoigne, a real mixed bag.
But the football's not been bad either.
Football's been excellent.
Yes, it's a game I'm sure it will have everybody talking for a long time, this one.
Robbins. Nayim. Well, that time by the Manchester United number 9, Brian McClair.
So Spurs have dropped Stewart back into midfield there. Another lovely ball.
Lineker off Bruce. Yes, there was quite a buzz last night when it was felt that they would be without a number of their players, that they might well drop Stewart into midfield and play Moran from the start. But then some of the injuries cleared up. It's a corner for Tottenham, floated in there once more. McClair came up there, it almost fell for Lineker. Moran's head up. Howes tries a shot. And Mitchell Thomas took a bang in the face as he came away from there, otherwise he might have seen the possibilities of the ball coming through to him. So the sensation here, of course, is that Paul Gascoigne was being sent off by referee Vic Callow for something he must have said to the referee. This is the tight close-up. And Gascoigne there must have said something to Vic Callow. Out came the red card. And further problems for Tottenham here. Dave Butler, the physiotherapist. He took a nasty bang in the face, it seemed to me, as he was... the ball was pulling about in that United penalty area. Well, they've got another substitute, Bergson, who's a defender. Should Mitchell Thomas be in trouble? Here's the Icelandic star, Gudni Bergson. Bruce playing it wide for Blackmore. 1-1 still the score. Spurs down to 10 men. Hughes. Abbott gets it away. Here's Moran. Spider, they call him. Lineker. Stewart. Allen. Nayim. Palace in the way, though, for United. Played on there by Webb to McClair. Into Hughes now. Stewart coming back to challenge. He got just past the challenge of Nayim, but at some cost. Well, they were teammates in Barcelona, of course. Hughes and Nayim. Hughes had looked as though he got past Nayim, and then Nayim caught him, as you saw, very high on that left thigh.
Could be painful, that.
A free kick to United. Webb trying to clip it in. Brandon Howe gets it away. United throw with Dennis Irwin. And again. McClair. Blackmore there fractionally before Moran. Here's Sharp. Another way that time by Howells. Blackmore again playing it in. Robbins trying to get in there. But there's Stewart. Now doing a job deep in defence. Very competently indeed. What of an hour to go. Those of you who enjoy statistics, Gascoigne, I suppose, must be the first player to be sent off in a live televised league game. In the cup final, cup ties, but first time in a league game. Spurs down to 10 men, and the score at 1-1. That's a break that's got to be stopped sooner or later, and it is. By Howells. Allen. Moran. No foul. In goes Mabbott. Now Brandon Howe. I did mention just now, of course, that Spurs did have 2 players sent off in their last home league game against Luton. Luton had a player sent off as well, but the point about that was that with 9 men, probably Spurs played some of their best football and came back to win the game. Paul Stewart supplying the winning goal on that occasion. Here's Moran.
Well, they certainly don't look out of it with the 10 men this evening, Brian, do they? And I think United have got to try and start moving the ball around and try to make up the extra man and try to get overlaps, because at the moment they're the team that look to be in some disarray.
Thomas.
So often the case, though, that when you're playing against 10, it throws you out a little bit, and certainly with that match here at Luton, when they were down, when Spurs were down to 9, Luton just didn't know how to deal with it for some extraordinary reason.
Well, the problem is when you've got 11 against 11, everybody knows who they're marking, they know their jobs. Take one out, and the other team with 10 men start running around into areas that they weren't before, and people are saying, is it your man, is it my man, and that's where the confusion comes in.
United throw. Owen. Hughes. Lovely skills there on the ground by Hughes, but he couldn't withstand the challenge in the end by Stewart. Hughes getting back in there again. McClair hurdling the challenge of Nayim. Tries to bring Blackmore into it. No foul, comes to McClair. Hit quickly though, too quickly, and it was easy for Torstvedt.
Well, Brian McClair has mainly in the game, Brian, been playing as a sort of outside right, and it's obviously the team plan for him to be there, but I would rather see him get involved in the middle. I think he's an excellent centre forward, and I'd like to see him do more work inside the penalty area.
Yes, they've switched things around a bit, haven't they? McClair's gone out onto the right-hand side. Webb had been playing most of this second half out on the right-hand side. I suppose the introduction of Robbins up with Hughes has changed it around a bit for them, but now McClair is playing out on the right. Webb is in the middle. And as you can see, the weather is getting, if anything, worse.
Well, the weather's getting worse.
Owen. Stewart unhappy with that decision. He didn't think that was a foul on McClair. And David Howell's having a word with the referee. You wonder sometimes, they've seen one of their teammates already given the red card for what he said to the referee. Best to say nothing. He's never going to change his decision, that's for sure. Webb with the free kick. Mitchell Thomas behind it. And a shot. Good save there by Torstvedt from sharp. And now Moran can bring it away for Tottenham. He's only got Lineker up in support. Here's Howells. Ince trying to get in. Stewart again, knocking it sideways, this time for Thomas. This time it's cut out by Ince. It's Robbins. Webb to McClair. Hughes waiting in the middle. Robbins is in there too. Hughes is in there also. And Mabbott thankful to get that one away for Tottenham. Minutes of the game left. Looked like a handball possibly there by Neil Webb, not given though. It's with Blackmore. Hughes battling away again. Allen getting it clear, only as far as Bruce. Owen stopped by Nayim. Only Lineker's up now. Can Lineker do anything with this? No, it'll fall for Bruce. But it's still Tottenham's throw. Lineker. Thomas. It's straight to Steve Bruce, though. Webb. McClair.
But ambitious, Brian, there.
Also, really, it needs one of these sides to win if they to resurrect or to rekindle their championship possibilities. I know they're fairly remote for both of them, with Liverpool, Leeds, Crystal Palace and Arsenal well up there in the top four. But really 3 points is what's required either by Spurs or Man United from this one, and not a draw.
I think what both clubs have got to be looking at as a UEFA place, Brian. I don't think the championship really is a realistic aim for them, but certainly a UEFA place, finish as high up the table as they can.
And you've got to start thinking about man of the match, Ian.
Oh, well, I have him very much in mind. It's been a smashing game. I've thoroughly enjoyed the game, and there's been plenty of talking points.
Well, they're taking off Dennis Irwin, bringing on Lee Martin. Well used to playing in the full-back position. And scored the crucial goal in the cup final, of course. And he's slotted straight into the left-back position, with Clayton Blackmore having come across here to right-back. Here's Steve Bruce. Played in too short. Mabbott launching himself at that one. The flag was up in any case on the far side for an offside against Mark Robbins. Back to Seeley. 7 minutes left on the clock. Alistair. Allen. To Moran. Made too firmly that time. Lineker was very promisingly placed. Stewart. Cutting it down for Nayim. Stewart again. Nice little touch there by Stewart. Finding Paul Allen. Long-range shot. Well wide of the goal. By no means a prolific goal scorer, Paul Allen, but he gets through a fantastic amount of work in the midfield. He scored only one this season. Former West Ham star, of course. Webb. McClair. To Lee Martin. Goal kick. Rain on the camera lens there as Torstvedt takes the goal kick. Straight to Stewart. Brandon Howe. Manchester United now with less than 5 minutes to make the advantage of 11 against 10 pay off.
They were chancing their arm a bit there because Mitchell Thomas was playing everybody on side there. These other defenders had moved out. Mitchell had stayed.
Alistair's header. Here he is again. It's got Sharp away on his left. Moran's coming back to try and help out. Here's Lee Sharp.
There's his cross. It's not a bad one. And it's Robbins with a header there, but it goes straight to Torstvedt once more. Oh, we got two streakers on. Well, it happened, one lady and one gentleman. And they've got a flag there, but they're getting great cheers from the crowd. A few stewards coming on either to get them off or to get a closer look. And no, we're not going to show it.
It was a world peace banner they were carrying there, so at least not going to cause any violence.
Well, they did it all in a good cause, but sadly they didn't get the publicity that they maybe would have craved. Well, they are getting a bit of it now. It's a really chilly night for those sort of capers, you know, so...
Vicious. Let's give the lads a laugh.
Yes, he's got it off. Now, let's see, where are we? 3.5 minutes left. Here's Ince again. Up to Webb. Blackmore. Flag is up on the far side. Offside again against Mark Robbins. Let's talk about man of the match, Sam.
Well, I decided that Paul Stewart is a man of the match. I think he's had an excellent game, Brian, and as I said earlier in the commentary, it's the best I've seen him play. He's had a wonderful match, and having moved into midfield when they won the 10 men, he's battled away in there. All his passing has been good, you know, his heading's been good, his tackling. Excellent game, thoroughly deserves a champagne.
Barclays man of the match, Paul Stewart. Oh! Bruce could have been in trouble there with Seeley, and look at them go. Oh my word, they're going at each other now. That's how the tension's got them here tonight, when they feel it's a match they should be just about edging against 10-man Tottenham. Bruce, rather Hughes. Blackmore. Have it away. Another throw. This time it goes United's way. 90 seconds left. Ince. What a great time to score a goal this would be. McClair. Allen. But at which end might it come? Moran? No, Lineker won't get to that one. Alistair can bring it forward. And United have got plenty of red shirts forward for this last gasp effort. Alistair hitting it all at 35 yards straight to Eric Thorstvedt. We're now in the last minute. Moran versus Martin. Only Martin just caught there by Paul Moran as he was getting away. Referee just wanting a quick cautionary word with the young Tottenham number 12 as United line up this free kick. They'll want to get this ball forward quickly now in the last few seconds of the game. 1-1 the score. Bruce. Martin. Webb. Can he open the door? Bruce. Really scored from the penalty spot. Not there towards Hughes. Might come from McClair. United have snatched it. With 5 seconds into injury time gone, McClair gets a smacker from Paul Ince as the ball fell so invitingly for him. Hughes battling away, and suddenly there it is for McClair, and really Thorstvedt had no chance at all with that. And United now just have to keep their cool for a few more seconds to pick up 3 excellent points here in this First Division game at White Hart Lane. Came off the referee. Van den Hauwe whacking it forward. So a real cruel blow for Terry Venables and for Tottenham as McClair scores his 11th goal of the season. Hughes played in again, stopped by Pallister. Not wide to Sharp, and away he goes. Moran is after him. United's throw. Played a minute and a half of time added on now. Spurs 1, Manchester United 2. Ince flicking it for Martin. Thorstvedt's ball. Very good strike indeed by McClair. It was a very inviting opening for him though. Free kick to Tottenham. They'll push every white shirt forward now. Mabbott's gone forward. Howells has gone forward. Nayim will take this free kick, stealing a yard or two, and Vic Caller will get him to go back as well. Nayim with the free kick. Floated towards Mitchell Thomas. Bruce under pressure. Gives away the corner. So United are not in the clear yet. Nayim getting across there, take it. And only Van den Hauwe and goalkeeper Thorstvedt are staying back. Knocked in there towards Stewart. Abbott was up there above them all, but it glanced off his head behind. Goal kick, and United are probably safe and in the clear now. Final whistle. A valuable victory for Manchester United. Scored in injury time with a shot by Brian McClair after Bruce had scored in the first half in the penalty spot, and Lineker for Tottenham. Spurs 1, Manchester United 2 is the final score at White Hart Lane.